이제 마지막 세션 시작하겠습니다. 디지털 전환과 인공지능의 발전은 일의 형태뿐 아니라 인재 양성 방식 자체를 바꾸고 있는데요. 이번 세션에서는 학문과 산업 간 공생지능의 역동적 관계를 주제로 AI 시대 속 HRD의 이론과 실제가 어떻게 호응하는지 현장의 이야기를 중심으로 살펴보고자 합니다. 이기성 숭실대학교 사회과학대학 평생교육학과 교수님께서 좌장을 맡아주시고 제롬피테 리옹 직업계고등학교 본부장님, 마리벨 일리히 독일 오스트베스트팔렌-리페 상공업회 직업훈련센터 소장님, 술탄 알수나야 사우디아라비아 기술직업훈련공사 국제협력국장께서 발표와 토론에 참여해 주시겠습니다. 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 이기성 교수님 진행 부탁드리겠습니다.
안녕하십니까. 지금 마지막 세션이라서 텅 빌 줄 알았더니 아직까지도 열기가 남아있네요. 먼저 한국직업능력연구원에서 글로벌 HR 포럼을 진행해 온 지가 이제 올해로 20년째가 됩니다. 그 전에 잠깐 매경 쪽하고 해서 지식경제 포럼인가 하는 걸 했던 것 같은데 이게 이제 정착돼서 이제 긴 역사를 갖게 됐고 세계적으로도 많이 알려진 것 같습니다. 혹시 또 제가 영어로 진행할까봐 기대하고 계셨던 분도 있으면 죄송합니다. 저는 I was born in Korea. 그래서 한국어가 훨씬 더 편하고 그래서 다 통역에 있으니까 통역으로 진행을 하는 걸로 하고 저는 우리말로 진행하겠습니다. 오늘 이 마지막 세션은 지금 이제 각국의 다른 분들 다 한국 연사들인데 저만 또 유독 세계 다른 나라에서 오신 연사들을 모시게 됐습니다. 이게 왜 그런지 모르겠어요. 그래서 바로 제 옆에 네, 럭키하답니다. 감사합니다. 바로 제 옆에 이제 스위스에서 오셨고, 그다음에 독일에서 오셨고, 저쪽 끝에는 사우디아라비아에서 오셨습니다. 나라들은 제가 한 번씩 또는 두 번 이상 이렇게 방문한 기억이 있는 나라들이라서 조금 친숙하기도 하고, 오늘 이제 발표하신 자료들이 여러분들한테 어떤 시사점을 드릴지는 잘 모르겠는데 오늘날 트랜스포메이션이라는 말을 써가지고 이제 T를 X로 이렇게 전환해서 DT 이렇게 쓰면 이제 디지털 트랜스포메이션이라고 하고 또 AX 그러면은 AI Artificial Intelligence에다가 이제 트랜스포메이션이라는 말을 써서 AX 이렇게 쓰던데 이런 큰 변화가 오고 있는데 이제 거기에 어떤 인재들이 필요한가 또 그 인재들을 육성하는 방식은 어떤가 이런 것들이 이제 전반적인 변화를 가져오게 됐죠. 이런 시점에서 우리가 외국의 사례도 한번 들어보고 또 우리가 잘하고 있는 부분들은 더 잘하고 어려운 부분들은 좋은 선례들을 배워오는 것도 의미가 있는 일이라고 생각합니다. 오늘 세 분이 차례로 발표를 하시고 또 여러분들이 질문할 게 있으시면은 활발하게 질문을 하셔서 풍성한 논의의 자리가 됐으면 좋겠습니다. 그럼 먼저 우리 제롬 피테 선생님 먼저 발표를 하시도록 하겠습니다. Please.
Okay. As Vocational Education and Training Director, I have seen curricula change minds, partnership change outcomes, but above all, I have seen mobility change lives. Let's scale together what's work. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jérôme Pittet. I am the director of a vocational education and training school in Switzerland, in Nyon. For the people who know, it's between Geneva and Lausanne. And our vocational school is specialized in business administration, sales, and public transportation, one of the two schools specialized in this sector in Switzerland. We train young apprentices, combining theory and practice, and we actively promote national and international mobility projects that connect our young apprentices with the world of work. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here today, and I would like to share with you how we, in Switzerland, a very small country located in the center of Europe, without raw material, with 4 national languages, but we are with a strong export-oriented economy. We are rethinking the collaboration between academia and industry. This presentation will shortly explore the concept of AI, at least in relation to the mobility, the role of the public-private partnership, and how initiative, concretely, like Next Step, is shaping the future of the global vocational education. My message today is simple. When academia and industries work as one, PPP, public-private partnership, turn innovative idea into impact. So, AI. We spoke a lot about AI during this forum. Quite simple for me, AI has become a wonderful driver of efficiency. It automates tasks, enhances decision-making, arise productivity, and fuel what many call the next industrial revolution. Yet, as impressive as this technology is, we cannot forget one essential truth. Human expertise remains at the heart of every meaningful innovation. Innovation and genuine human connection cannot be replaced by algorithm. Artificial intelligence can support us with great efficiency, but empathy, moral judgment, creativity are uniquely human capacity, until now at least. So we strongly believe, more than before, that global opportunity arises through mobility. In other words, AI can translate words very easily. AI cannot translate culture. AI can optimize process. It cannot build trust across borders. It is not only about technology connecting us, it is about people learning to understand each other across culture and profession. Now, about the symbiotic intelligence. Symbiotic intelligence means that academia and industry don't just coexist. They collaborate and evolve together. Each brings its own strengths. University and school generate knowledge, while company brings real-world challenges and human innovation capacity. When these two worlds share knowledge, expertise, resources, something powerful happens. They learn from each other, they adapt together, and they align their goal to solve real problems. This mutual learning creates not only efficiency, but also meaning what we call mutual value creation. And in Switzerland, this collaboration, this mindset collaboration is deeply rooted in our culture of vocational education. Our apprentices don't only learn theory, but they spend most of the time inside real company contributing to real project. These constant dialogues between doing and theory embody what we call symbiotic intelligence. The PPP, public-private partnership, are one of the most effective ways to translate symbiotic intelligence into action. By combining the long-term strategic vision of the public sector with the agility and innovation of private companies, public-private partnership drive tangible results. And the key benefits are clear. They share risk, they allocate resources efficiently, they inject innovation, they accelerate implementation, they improve quality through service quality through performance, they ensure long-term sustainability and collaboration, they attract investment for fuel, growth, and job creation. In short term, public-private partnership is not just financial tools. There are human and institutional partnerships that help our society move forward together. Now, let me explain you the broader context that shape all of our decisions when we create and imagine the next step mobility project, which is a private-public partnership. The first element is that VET, the Vocational Education and Training System, is one Switzerland's strength in terms of comparative advantage. If you add that Switzerland is an export country, we won more than 1 Swiss francs on 2 earned when exported Switzerland. I let you imagine the importance in our GDP. And when we have these two elements, it's important to understand the needs of the company. This morning, it was interesting, I heard that people are our most important asset. And the company they need team that understand foreign market, customer, and way of working abroad. What we need is employee with intercultural skill, to understand each other, to respect the culture, and to connect. For this reason, we want to open doors to the world, and it's not a one way, it's a both way. We want to create a co-created value. It's not about trade, it's not only about trade, it's about people understand other with respect. Now, let me explain you a quick overview, really quick overview of our collaboration mindset look in practice in Switzerland. The Swiss vocational education and training system is the main pathway to employment. 2/3 of our young people choose the VET system in Switzerland. 1/3 choose the general education. Each apprentice receives a salary. He has also a labor contract, a kind of labor contract, is more an apprenticeship contract in real company. It means that he earns while he learns. And we offer more than 240 different professions, from design to IT to healthcare, across sectors like business, service, technical trade, creative industry, art, construction, architecture. 2 more elements. our system is flexible and permeable. It means that with a federal vocational baccalaureate, a young apprentice can continue forward to University of Applied Sciences or with a little bridge to academic university. And I forget to explain at the beginning of the presentation, but our young people with a baccalaureate, vocational baccalaureate, are just under the university. They can go to university if they want. At the end of the 3 years or 4 years, it depends on the profession, they are graduate and they know they have a work, they have skill, and they can go on in the market. So concretely, we have the dual track, which combine theory and practice. The apprentice spend 1 or 2 days, I say depend on the profession, in a vet school, for example, my school, and they practice 3 or 4 days in a training company. But when I say training company, it's a real company. They are employees of the company. So the dual track system ensures that young people develop both skill and maturity. They learn and gradually take on real responsibility in their companies. For this reason, it keeps youth unemployment rate among the lowest in the world. I can give you, it was the previous slide. I can give you many examples, many examples of entrepreneur, CEO, politician. But I like these 2 examples. Our current Minister of Economy, Guy Parmelin, I think he was here a few times ago. At the very beginning, he's a winemaker, and now he's our Minister of Economy. And the other one, Sergio Ermotti, is the CEO of UBS, is the largest bank in Switzerland, and one major bank in the world. And these 2 brilliant personality chose at the very beginning the VET system. Now let's speak about next step, the international vocational mobility. First of all, I have to say that there has always been mobility program in the academic world. That's the traditional landscape. But the real innovation with next step is that it's aimed specially at apprentice. In other words, it is not just another academic exchange, it's truly a program designed for the future of apprentice. We put the apprentice right at the center. And I spoke about, at the beginning, I spoke about the PPP, the public-private partnership. And it's really a partnership. Next Step was created by 2 departments of education, the canton Vaud. You know, in Switzerland, we are organized by canton, like department, 26. And those 2 cantons, the canton of Vaud and the canton of Zurich, one is a French-speaking canton, the other one is a German-speaking canton, was created as a project. And we work closely with Swissnex. Swissnex is like a spin-off of the Swiss Confederation, mainly public, a little bit private because they sell some services to a private company. And Swissnex is the global science and innovation network. They have 20 local offices in the world, and they are in contact with many companies, with university, with startup. So we work with them. We work with industry and company directly and through Swissnet. It's really a partnership. Now, who is the program open to? This program is open to all the graduates of our VET system, in all profession, in all profession. It means that if you have a vocational baccalaureate or a good command of English, like an apprentice, you can apply to this project. I explained on the screen, you can do your apprentice in 3 years or 4 years, depend on the profession. During this time, you can do also a vocational baccalaureate, or you decide to do after your apprenticeship. But anyway, all apprentices can apply to this project in our 2 cantons for the moment. So, the destination. At the very beginning, we start with Japan, United States, India, and Brazil. Last year, I was here in Seoul, and I visited about more than 30 companies here in Seoul. And we opened this destination this year. I'm going to show you the facts and figure. Very important point. We found all the mobility. There is no cost for the companies. I mean that we found the living cost, the travel, the allowance. Of course, there is a finding scale depending on the living cost. It's not the same to live in India or in United States. But the Confederation, the national agency Movesia, found the project with also found from the canton. That's very important. And how we select our candidate. We select the candidate on potential and mainly on motivation. What we want to see is that next step is an important step, in their professional life. I like to comment this picture. It was here in Seoul last year. And you can observe that my colleague Ramon from Zurich and I were completely jet-lagged. We were tired. But the 2 apprentices were brilliant. I mean, the 2 apprentices that we have here, Charlotte and Aaron. Charlotte is a business employee, Aaron an informatician. They were working in Japan. And they came with us here, and they take the floor. They take the stage. They were leading the conversation and prove the value of the VET system. And we visited this design company, very famous, I suppose, SWNA with Mr. Suko Lee. And this year, there is a trainee from Switzerland in his company. The other picture also is very interesting. That's Laurent, a young apprentice from Zurich, in India, in Bangalore. He was working in Systemantics, a quite little company in India. And the man, the Indian, his name is Yogi. And the story of this man is something special. He was professor in the MIT in United States. And after a while, he decided to come back in India and to open a company. This company built articulate arm for the health system. And now he receives frequently trainees from Switzerland, from university, and now from the VET system. And I can say that Laurent learned a lot with Yogi. Imagine what he brings back in Switzerland after 6 months in India. What are the objectives? That's quite clear. We want to give to our top graduate a bigger employability. We want to accelerate the strong intercultural skills. We would like to forge high impact with innovative companies like Systematics that you have seen, and also connect and co-create between vocational systems. Thanks to the TVET, I was here last year, and thanks to the TVET, I visited a vet school here in Korea, and it was amazing, fulfilling experience. And we want also to share this experience and to build bridge between countries. As I said before, some fact and figure. It's not so many, but you have to understand there are just 2 cantons. 1 month ago, we opened this project to all cantons, to the other canton in Switzerland. So at the very beginning, we had the four destinations, India, Japan, US, and Brazil. And we sent 28 graduates from 2 cantons. And this year, you can see, we have 20 trainees right now in South Korea, working in local and international company. So it was really impactful, and it's not anymore a pilot. It's really now a program. At the beginning it was a pilot, of course, and now it's a project, a program from the Swiss Confederation. I would like to conclude. I do this conclusion this morning. Let me close with one idea. AI is reshaping how we learn and work. Public-private partnership are how to turn that change into shared value, and mobility is the bridge, bringing people together, not just markets. When students move, they don't only trade skill, they build understanding across culture. That is why Next Step is more than a program. It's a durable platform that should persist and multiply. If we keep aligning academia and industry, driven by AI and open by mobility, we will not only develop talent, we will also connect, accelerate innovation, and create value that lasts. Thank you very much for your attention, and 감사합니다.
제로미 피테 감사합니다. 뭐 다 들으셔서 아시겠지만 이제 스위스 같은 경우에는 좀 인상적이었던 게 직업교육 훈련을 통해서 우리가 생각하는 밑바닥 이런 직업에서부터 지금 장관, 아까 이제 잠깐 사전에 모임을 했는데 경제 부처를 맡은 장관이 배출되기도 하고 또 큰 기업의 뭐 CEO도 배출하고, 우리도 옛날에 이게 가능했었는데 이제 오늘날에는 좀 특성화고등학교라든가 이런 데서 큰 인물이 잘 배출되기가 어려운 상황이죠. 어떤 게 옳은지는 모르겠지만 하여튼 스위스의 그런 사례를 같이 나눌 수 있었고, 앞으로 아마 지금 이제 2 캔톤에서 쭈리시하고 보드하고 이쪽에서 성공했던 사례들을 지금 이제 우리나라가 후발주자로 조인했는데 성공 사례는 제일 많더라고요. 우리나라하고 긴밀한 협조 관계를 이룩했으면 좋겠다는 생각이 듭니다. 발표 감사합니다. 질문이 올라와 있는데 이 질문은 일단 3분 연사 다 발표하시고 난 다음에 모아서 하도록 하겠습니다. 그렇게 해도 괜찮으시겠죠? 예, 좋습니다. 자, 그럼 다음에는 우리 띄워줘야지. 마리베 일리크. 우리는 독일어 배울 때 일리히 그랬는데 일리크라고 이렇게 얘기하시네요. 마리베 일리크 박사님이 또 독일의 사례를 발표해 주시겠습니다. 예, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here. I'm very honored to present here at your 20th anniversary. Congratulations to this wonderful forum to having here. My name is Maribel Illig. I'm a managing director at the Chamber of Skilled Crafts in Ost-Westfalen-Lippe zu Bielefeld. I'm also the head of the Vocational Training Center. Today, I'd like to share how vocational training centers can act as living bridges between industry and academia, and why this role is becoming more important than ever. So let me start with a short introduction of who we are, so you have an idea where I come from. Our chamber represents around 23,000 companies with in our region, and over 215,000 employees and 11,000 apprentices in training. Together, they generate about 28 billion euros in sales every year. And so the crafts is not a niche. They are an essential economic force and an innovation driver that we have. Germany's success in vocational education is built on the dual system that Jerome explained so wonderfully. And learning happens in two coordinated places, about 70% in the company, real companies as Jerome has highlighted, and 30% in vocational schools. The vocational training centers, or VTCs, complement the system by connecting both sides, ensuring the practical training reflect new technologies and real market needs, so we are part of the company side. At our center, more than 10,000 participants per year train in 14 different professions. One highlight is our competence center for smart home and smart building technologies. And the building itself is a learning object. Students learn directly in the systems they will later install and maintain, and it's a fully action-orientated environment that we provide. Well, of course, vocational education does not exist in a vacuum. We face all global challenges, the green transition, the digital transformation, and demographic shifts. These changes require constant adaptation, and these call for closer cooperation between the industry and education. And this brings us to the concept of symbiotic intelligence, mutual knowledge creation between academia and industry. Vocational training centers play a practical role in these ecosystems. We translate research into applicable skills and bring industry involvement needs back into education. In this way, VTCs make innovation tangible. In times of rapid change that we face today, bridges matters, and VTCs act as brokers of symbiotic intelligence between theory and practice. But a bridge only works if people are walking from both sides on it, and that means networking. Networking keeps the connection alive and allows knowledge to flow both ways. So the industry needs innovation, an agile workforce, and practical solutions for sustainability. Academia, on the other hand, they need real-world relevance and opportunity to test theories. And the vocational training centers, they provide the platform where global challenges can be turned into local, workable solutions through networking and cooperation. One key model is workforce development. In dual training, we co-design curricula with both industry and academia. This ensures that training stays current and that graduates are ready for the labor market with both technical and digital skills, being job ready, as we say. Another model focuses on knowledge transfer. Our competence centers serve as pilot labs for applied research, where companies, universities, and trainees experiment together. These collaborations allow innovations to be tested, refined, and scaled into real business practices. And what makes these partnerships work are the feedback loops. Networking acts as a catalyst, ensuring a continuous exchange. Vocational training centers create the dynamic element. We facilitate dialogue and allow flexible adaptation when technology or labor needs change. So how do we do it exactly? And what you see here are the logos of 3 pretty big networks and very different networks that we have in our region. And the Smart Living one is a national network that we have. And we build these effective networks on very different topics. And we start with very simple but very crucial questions. And the question is, how do you work and what do you need? The conversations lay the foundation for collaboration because real partnerships begins with understanding each other's reality. So we have to constantly talk to the company, and honestly, these are the first questions when I'm talking to a company owners. What do you need? And how do you work? Especially when it comes to AI. And because of AI, we have started a new network that is very new. It started last year, and it's a roundtable of qualification. And I'm very happy that we have started this network, really. I'm very proud of that. And here, universities of applied science and vocational training centers meet regularly. And together, we discuss future skill demands and ensure that our programs stay aligned with the industry needs. And in these discussions, we have also 2 questions that are crucial. And this is now, what is the optimal pedagogy to reach the learning objectives? And how do we integrate AI into the learning process? Not as a buzzword, but as a practical tool to empower learners and educators alike. And before you ask me, how's it done and what is the solution? We don't know. We only know that we need a culture of experimentation in order to implement AI successfully into teaching. Well, I won't lie to you. I mean, the collaboration also comes with challenges. The hardest part is not starting a network, that's all fine. It's keeping alive and keeping it purposeful. And there's always a risk of falling back into the silos thinking, and that's why trust, shared goals, and continuous communication is really essential to keeping a network alive. Looking ahead, I think AI and symbiotic intelligence will redefine learning and work. Vocational training centers can become learning hubs for educators and small enterprises and help them apply AI responsibility and meaningful in their fields. So let me summarize the key takeaways. I'm pretty quick here. I'm sorry. So the networks becomes dynamic when they are driven by real-life themes and impact. And networking is the foundation of a successful symbiosis. And symbiotic intelligence fosters innovation, employability, and sustainability. Or as we like to say, together we are smarter. And that's also my closing message. Together we are smarter, but only if we stay connected. So thank you so much for your attention, and I look forward for the dialogue with you. Thank you.
발표 감사합니다. 앞에서 제레미 피테 선생님께서 조금 시간을 더 쓰셨는데 마리벨 그 선생님께서 시간을 또 많이 단축해 주셨네요. 충분하게 논의할 수 있는 시간을 확보해 주신 것 같습니다. 감사합니다. 독일 사례 보면 이제 뭐 우리도 다 익히 알고 있고 그렇듯이 이제 뭐 우리도 맨 처음에 직능원이 생기면서 스쿨 투 워크 투 스쿨 연구를 많이 했던 것 같아요. 근데 지금 이제 스위스도 그렇고 독일도 그렇고 학교에서 또 배울 수 있는 부분이 한계가 있지 않습니까? 그리고 이제 또 트레이닝 센터라고 돼 있는데 실제로 이제 거기 회사가 되는 거죠. 트레이닝 컴퍼니가 그쪽에서 실무를 배우면서 사회에 나갈 준비를 시켜주는 게 이제 우리나라도 똑같은데 우리가 그게 좀 크게 성공적이지 않은 것 같아요. 그러면 똑같은 일을 했는데 스위스나 독일에서는 어떻게 해서 성공을 했고 왜 우리나라는 뭐가 문제가 있을까 이런 것들을 한번 면밀히 살펴보는 그런 기회가 됐었으면 좋겠습니다. 이따 질문 나오는 거 이따 다루기로 하고 발표 감사합니다. 시간도 줄여줘서 감사합니다. 마지막으로 우리 그 사우디아라비아 사례를 좀 듣도록 하겠습니다. 우리 술탄 이름이 조금 어렵습니다. 그래서 좀 외워야 되는데 술탄 알수나야 선생님께서 발표를 해주시겠습니다. 박수로 환영하시죠.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I think we are evening now. Yeah, probably. Thank you for having me. I will start with thanking Kripta for the generous invitation. I am happy to be here today in Korea and to be with you. And thanks for our distinguished visitors, our guests who are coming and giving us from their valuable time. I will start by introduce we have a collaboration with the World Bank, one of the collaboration that we have done in technical and vocational training corporation in Saudi Arabia. And we have a program with them, we call it TCP program. One of the outputs of this program is to have this effective public-private partnership with the World Bank. As you know, everyone today in the labor market is talking about the PPP as the best model. We have a vocational training institutes across the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We have more than 250 vocational training institutes. However, at the same time, I could see it clearly, one of the best model training that we have in vocational training in Saudi Arabia is the PPP model. This is me, and also this is my colleague Katrina from the World Bank, who was operated with me in the last few months regarding the publication of this report. This is also Dana, the labor economist from the World Bank. And also this is Sonia. I am so happy and also, to be honest, proud to be with such a great group with the World Bank. And also this is Ibli Chakwa, also from the World Bank. The effective public-private partnership in TVET skills reform, lessons from Saudi Arabia. I will talk about what we are delivering in that kind of training model. Then I will talk about what sectors that we hit and what we learned from this experience. The report is a joint production, as it mentioned, between the Saudi Arabia, TVTC, and the World Bank under the DCP program. It's a strategic partnership model as emerging international good practice in public-private partnership. Allow me to go out from this report. This is also another publication that was launched last year. I have bring and give to one of your colleagues printed out copies. Hopefully you could get a copy of that. I printed as a hard copy. I print it out to distribute it. You could read about our report last year is Empowering Women in Technical and Vocational Education in Saudi Arabia. It's published in the website of the World Bank in Arabic and English. This is what I'm going to cover today. I'm talk about vocational education and workforce aligning skills development with the demand of the private sector, also coordinating PPP in the TVET sector in Saudi Arabia, country case studies, Saudi Electric Service Polytechnic, and also Tamiz Financial and Accounting Excellence Academy, Hotel and Tourism Management Institute, HTMI, in a collaboration with Switzerland, probably it's well known, and also International Aviation Technical Colleges at Riyadh. Main lessons for the international community. In the vocational education, as you just see here, the stigma has a historic undermined of attractiveness and uptake of TVET despite its critical role in addressing skills shortage and improving employability. Also, students' attitude toward the TVET system are still influenced by factors such as genders, family, income, also parental education levels. However, the countries with the highly institutionalized and the prestigious TVET system, TVET education tends to be widely perceived as a viable pathway to productive employment. Research from Saudi Arabia shows that the difference between direct experience and perception suggests that TVET outcomes often surpass their reputation, which is a good news for us. Their perception gap gives TVET provider an opportunity to showcase their strength more convincingly to employer and prospective students alike. A global movement towards skills development in recent has increased urgency to strengthen vocational education and training, in line with G20 partners. Also, as you just see here, employer perception of TVET in Saudi Arabia. This is not from us. We take another partner, which is Human Capital Development Program and the Ministry for Human Resource, to showcase how the labor market looking for our graduates. And fortunately, in conclusion, at least 70% of employers in Saudi Arabia agree that TVET programs supply graduates with educable skills and knowledge, experience and work ethics, and that meets their business needs, which is fair enough for us. As you just see here, translating TVET skills to meaningful gains in generational income context in the MENA region, while education attainment is high, the private returns to education and labor market are amongst the lowest in the world, especially for young people and women. This is in the past. A key challenges behind this disconnect is a misalignment between educational system and the labor market needs, resulting in a widespread skills and educational mismatch, unemployment and underemployment. In Saudi Arabia, the advancement of Vision 2030 sets out a bold agenda for economic diversification with a strong focus on empowering the private sector and investing in human capital. Lastly, central to this vision is addressing the mismatch between the labor market needs and the workforce skills, particularly through expanding and improving the TVET system. As you just see here, globally, PPP have been emerged as a powerful mechanism to strengthen the relevance, quality, and status of TVET. As you just see here, I will go through it fastly. Well-structured PPP enable closer alignment between training, profession, and labor market needs, embedding employers directly into the design and delivery training, present a demand-driven approach. Association with reputable employers can help reframe the social narrative associated with TVET. Higher rates of employment on early job placement through this partnership. As you just see here, there are several types of PPP in education. I will go through the main topics here. School subsidized and also adopt and institution program. Private sector philanthropy. Also, fourth is the capacity building programs. Subcontract of institutional management. Government purchasing program. Incentivizing TVET. Institution infrastructure partnership. coordinating the PPP. As you just see here, the historic way of non-profit academies that we are so proud of, and how the PPP working model is happening in Saudi Arabia. As you just see here, us on TVTC, Technical and Vocational Training Corporation in the left, formulation the partnership, licensing, site allocation, audit of financial statement, approval of training program, accredited of certification. This is from our part. The second part is by the Human Resource Development Program, is to covering training cost and trainee stipend. Training cost is 90% of cost for small and medium, and enterprise, and 70% for large companies like Aramco, as I just mentioned to our colleague before the session. Trainee stipend, 50% of the trainee salary up to 2,000 word, like more than $600 US dollar monthly, is covered by also HRDF. Lastly, strategic partner identifying required specialization and number of trainees, signing employment contract with the trainees ahead of training, reimbursing the remaining training cost and the trainee stipend, also co-supervision of the training, lastly, formatting and presidence of the board of trustees. The outcome is, the main important thing is the production of high qualified workforce that advances the development of sectors and addresses the current and future needs of the labor market and immediate labor market absorption. These are the 12 sectors that we covered through this PPP model: telecommunication and information technologies, and transportation and logistics, industrial and mining, energy, oil and gas, financial services, retail and consumer goods, tourism, entertainment, food and agriculture, defense and military industry, media, lastly, real estate and construction services. And more is coming. There are more sectors that we are targeting in the near future, inshallah. NCSP, from expansion to innovation. As we have, these are our numbers. People are looking at our numbers in this business model why we are so proud of these numbers, because those who are trainees from day one, they are employees from day one. When they finish, they have finished 2.5 years, and they started the second part of the 2.5 years. In just 6 months of working on the labor market, they have 3 years of experience. This is why we are so proud of this model. We have plus 55 strategic partner academies. We have 25 active in cities and province in Saudi Arabia. We have 150 strategic partners. We have plus 360 employer. We have also more than 200K trainees at any time. Lastly, we are so proud we have more than 60,000 graduates from this institution over time. And from expansion to innovation, I will go through this slide fastly. We have shifted from company-specific to sector and skill-specific. We have contextualizing private sector participation laws. We have rigorous partnership process with the private stakeholders. And lastly, we have public sector engagement. Lessons from our success within NCSP. We have anyone who is considering our experience, they should have in consideration this important point. Firstly, careful selection of board trustees, BOT, to each institute, institutional flexibility, adaptability process for attracting, approving students, trainees, adaptable process for attracting, approving the right partners. There are many companies applying to us, but we refuse them because they doesn't match our selection criteria. Lastly, guaranteed employment outcomes. Country example. As I just mentioned now, we have Saudi Electric Service Polytechnic in Riyadh. with a collaboration with Saudi Electrical Company in Saudi Arabia. And also we have a Tamayiz Academy for Financing and Accounting. It just started 6 years ago in a collaboration with Aramco, JP Morgan, Deloitte, HCSP, also KPMG and others. We have also HTMI, that's in collaboration with Switzerland, with the Hair Institute for Tourism and Hospitality in Saudi Arabia, with so much partner as you just see. The most important one is the HTMI in Switzerland. I will end the examples with this slide, which is the International Aviation Technical College. We are so proud of this model. We have started this model in 2012. The graduates from this academy is more than 4,500. We have a new programs in robotics inside this college. We have a new program also in drones. We have female in drones programs. We are so proud of that. The most powerful thing that I would talk about it in this slide is, as you just see here, according to data provided by the Independent Government Data Center, SADAYA, 80% of ITech graduates secured employment within 6 months of completing their training. This is the most important thing that showcase and as a proof of concept of the success of this. Main lessons from our experience: no one size fits all. As you just know and see, any country has its own plan and has its own vision. What's the most important here? What's fit in, like in Germany or Switzerland, shouldn't be probably fit well in Saudi Arabia. It's different culture, it's different needs, it's different also prioritization for the economy and how its participation. This is the one. The second one is the presence of coordinating body. The NCSP provides structural approach that facilitate and development alignment of institutes and academic of excellence with national skills objectives. The third one is the strong and sustained government support. This is most important also. Trust-based private sector relationship, strategic leadership, and also focus on advancing and emerging sectors. And also in the next slide, accredited is crucial. They have to be accredited after getting their diploma. As my colleague just mentioned, from Switzerland and Germany, they have a long life educational path. You can complete even bachelor degree or other degrees, higher degrees. And also selecting the right candidates. We should get the right candidates to ensure that the less withdraw from the program it would happen. Responsiveness to stakeholder needs, and also it's more important, and also strengthen the link between education and employment. We shall close the gap between these sectors. And also institutional flexibility. We should have this flexibility to shift from one sector to other sectors. However, like today in Saudi Arabia, the government is focusing on tourism and hospitality. We should go to that. If at one day, 5, 6, 10 years from now, there is a saturation number, then we should shift to other demand-based labor market. I will end this slide with the last point is the global orientation and language skills. English language proficiency and international competencies are increasingly important, especially for institutional aiming and to partner globally and to prepare graduates for a competitive global labor market. Thank you so much.
네, 시간도 한 2분 남았는데 이렇게 너무 빨리 해서 시간에 대한 압박이 있으셨던 것 같습니다. 네, 발표 감사합니다. 제가 사우디아라비아를 한 2, 3년 전에 한번 가봤었습니다. 네, 제가 건설 근로자로 간 게 아니고 그때 이제 제가 전에 있던 직장이 한국직업능력개발원, 지금 직업능력연구원인데 그때 이제 출장을 한번 갔었고, 그래서 아까 고테보트라는 말씀도 드려서 그런데 제가 이제 뭐 그냥 뇌피셜입니다만은 우리나라가 왕조 시대를 오래 거치면서 직업에 대한 선호가 좀 달라졌고, 사우디아라비아도 지금 이제 현재 왕조가 계속 유지가 되고 있고, 그래서 직업도 이제 좀 고귀한 관문에 있는 사람들이 진입할 수 있는 직업과 그렇지 않은 사람들이 진입할 수 있는 직업들이 조금 구분이 되는 것 같아요. 그래서 아까 직업 교육에 대한 스티그마 얘기를 잠깐 언급을 했는데, 그런 점이 좀 유사할 것 같기도 하는 생각도 들고, 또 하나 발견되는 거는 이제 사우디 아람코라고 큰 회사가 아까 그 PPP 얘기할 때 여러 그 업종에 좀 12가지 분야 중에서 7가지에 관여를 하고 있어요. 큰 기업이 할 수 있는 역할들이 나름대로 있구나. 우리나라가 뭐 대기업들이 너무 설친다 그렇게 생각하지 마시고, 그 기업들이 기여할 수 있는 방법을 좀 우리가 촉구하는 게 좋은 방법이 아닌가 그런 생각이 듭니다. 하여튼 제 짧은 소견으로 말씀을 드렸고, 그러면은 제가 좀 준비해온 질문들이 몇 가지가 있습니다. 근데 이제 언급은 조금씩 하셨는데, 실제로 이번 아까 이제 서두에도 말씀드렸지만 디지털 트랜스포메이션하고 AI 트랜스포메이션 얘기를 하는데, 실제로 각 국가에서 직업교육훈련, 이제 스위스 같은 경우는 이제 중등 교육 수준에서의 직업교육, 거기에 AI가 과연 어떤 의미를 가지는 건지, 어떻게 AI를 교육과정에 접목시키는지, 그런 부분을 한번 좀 알고 싶고요. 마찬가지로 독일 같은 경우하고 사우디아라비아, 혹시 사례가 있으시면 간단하게 얘기해 주시고, 플로어에서 질문해 주신 거를 몇 개를 선별해서 또 다뤄도 보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 하시겠어요?
Okay. Do you hear me? Okay. Yes. In Switzerland right now, it's really the AI issue is a frontline subject. So, for example, we decided in our canton, I say that because in Switzerland we have a very decentralized organization. So, the education public policy is made essentially in cantons, in departments. So, for example, in our canton department, if I translate in English, we upskill both teacher for AI, both teacher and school administrative employee. For the administrative use, we train them for example, workflow, summaries, and drafting. And for the pedagogical use, for a teacher, it was principally AI and lesson design, and the problem of integrity when they use AI. For our students, we train them, we try at least. On the pedagogy side, our focus is on the critical thinking. How our students can select the sources, how they can select and verify the sources on AI, and mainly learning how to learn with the AI. I mean, rather than relying on blindly what they found out on the AI. For the theoretical personal work, we increasingly use oral defense and assessment more and more. We decided to turn an oral assessment to check understanding, originality, ethic, and so on.
제가 이야기로는 우리 또 직능위원회 선배님들이 몇 분 계신데, 영어를 저보다 훨씬 더 잘하시는 선배님들이 계셔서 제가 감히 또 잘못하다 실수할까 봐 걱정스럽긴 한데, 아직 그 스위스 같은 경우도 그렇게 우리가 생각하는 것처럼 AI 역사가 그렇게 길진 않으니까 아마 초보적인 수준에서 이제 이루어지는 것 같고, 아직 뭐 이렇게 시스테매틱하게 평가가 이루어지고 있는 것 같긴 한데 그 평가 시스템이 뭐 정착됐다거나 이렇게 기대할 수 있는 수준은 아닌 것 같다 이렇게 이해를 하고 있어요. Am I right? 순차 통역을 하다 보니까.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. I think it was more remarks than a question, but anyway.
야 이거 좀 난처하네요.
Could you repeat it, please? Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, we are not better.
지금 이제 우리 같은 경우는 AI라는 게
I would like just to add something. We are not better. We are different. We are different. It's not a way of better, or it's a way of to be different. Yes, AI is a frontline problem in Switzerland right now in the education. We speak a lot about the use of AI with teacher, with our student, and I know the problem. I led a vocational training school in business administration, so my biggest fear is that the personal work is made or are made by AI. So we try to train them, to upskill them. I say them, I mean teacher and student. So, but we are, I think, at the very beginning of a very long way to adapt the AI in all schools. We don't have, as you say, it's always experimentation, and we don't have the right answer. We explore, we try, and we will see what happens. I can give you later also other example.
Okay, 그 AI 아직은 이제 기본적인 기초적인 수준인 것 같고 앞으로 나아갈 길이 이제 길다, 멀다 이런 얘기를 하신 것 같고 우리 같은 경우도 이제 아까 오전 세션에 제가 잠깐 들어갔을 때 독일의 미카엘 티만 선생님이 발표하실 때 PC가 처음 도입됐을 때 그 PC를 회사에서 가르치기보다는 개인적으로 이제 배워서 그걸 업무에 적용했다. AI도 아마 그런 순서를 밟지 않을까 이런 얘기를 했던 기억이 나는데 지금 이제 AI의 용도, 활용도에 대한 얘기가 많이 나오고 있긴 하지만은 지금 그거를 구체적으로 커리큘럼화해서 학교에서 가르치고 그런 수준은 아닌 것 같고, 그죠? 그래서 개별적으로 이제 접근하고 지금 준비하는 단계, 아주 시작 단계다 이렇게 이해를 할 수 있을 것 같습니다. 네, 네, 오케이. 그러면 다음에 독일 사례로 넘어가서 AI에 대한 얘기를 좀 해주시고.
I would think there in vocational training there are two layers when it comes to AI implementation. The one thing when it comes to AI in the working or the production process, we have to understand how the industry is using AI. For example, if we are talking about precision mechanics, predictive maintenance is something that is AI driven, and that is something that is absolutely normal in the production process. So we have to understand how AI is incorporated in these processes, and we have to simulate or that in our vocational training centers. So this is, for me, just another tool in the working process, and we have to keep the tool in the hands. And the other layer is exactly what we have talked about, is about the teaching and how can AI hopefully enhance or make the teaching better. And Jérôme said it, critical thinking is very important. We have to make clear for our students, apprentices, that AI literacy means that you understand your work sphere almost perfect and that you can describe it precisely. Otherwise, you won't understand when the AI is hallucinating. You take everything for granted what AI is saying. So critical thinking and teaching that for the students is, in my opinion, something very important. And that means, has been said before, is we have to educate the educators first. This is very important. And yes, it's the same in Germany. We kind of experiment all the time. And I think one of our teachers, a master in precision mechanics, he is always making an example with his apprentices and students, and he's showing that ChatGPT is really bad when it comes to precision mechanics. And it's very funny, and so it's just a laughing moment in class, but it's also a very crucial learning moment in class that you really have to know what you're talking about, and then you can talk with the AI about it.
두 가지 이제 AI에 관해서 얘기할 때 두 가지 층위로 얘기할 수 있는데, 하나는 이제 생산 과정에서 AI를 얼마만큼 잘 도입해서 활용하느냐, 이제 그런 측면하고, 하나는 이제 티칭 쪽에서 어떻게 가르칠 것인가 쪽으로 이렇게 얘기를 해주셨어요. 근데 이제 아까 스위스 사례에서 얘기했지만은 비판적인 사고 등등, 소위 우리가 얘기하는 소프트 파워, 소프트 스킬이라고 얘기하는 부분들에 대한 얘기를 같이 좀 하신 것 같은데, AI가 아까 오전에 어느 분이 다룰 때 AI가 할 수 있는 일에 한계가 있다, 감정을 느끼지 못한다, 이제 그런 한계점을 얘기해 주셨는데, AI가 지금 이제 초기에 도입돼서 모든 것을 해결해 주는 만능 해결사처럼 인식이 되는 거에 대해서는 우리가 조금 좀 경계를 할 필요가 있지 않나. 독일에서도 지금 이제 계속 실험하는 단계를 많이 거치고 있는 것 같아요. 우리도 완급을 좀 조절할 필요가 있겠다, 그런 생각이 들고, 필요하다면은 이제 최근에 대통령께서 뭐 AI 3대 강국 얘기를 하셨는데, 말로만 3대 강국이 아니라 실질적인 교류를 통해서 우리가 할 수 있는 부분, 또 다른 나라에서 잘하는 부분들을 어떻게 우리 기술하고 우리 수준하고 잘 조화를 해서 또 좋은 양질의 효과를 낼까, 이런 고민들을 우리가 짊어져야 될 책무인 것 같습니다. 네. 그다음에 사우디아라비아 사례 간단하게 해주시고 이제 개별적으로 들어온 질문을 좀 다루도록 하겠습니다.
Thank you so much. It's an important issue and topics, to be honest. Today, in our Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia, many people are talking also about AI and how can we emerge it into education and in our curricula and vocational education, specifically as I'm coming from a TVET background. The most important thing, how can we use AI, in my humble opinion, in our vocational system? In one case, for instance, one of our instructor, as we have 250 vocational institutes across the kingdom, which is high number. When you have this kind of number, you would like to ensure the quality of doing the training by the trainees is the same. Otherwise, the labor market will have differentiation in the level of education skills. There is one experience was done by our instructor. He was doing a training for refrigeration in a mechanical engineering. He was do it in a one way, in a the best correct way to do the training model. And he was recording that and upload it to AI and send it to all the mechanical instructors that if you agree with it, they said yes, we agree with that experience. It's the best way to do this training model. Then every student now should do the same procedure. If they get it wrong, because they have their mobile, if they get it wrong, then the AI reply directly, and that will make reports and that, this is one way of good using of AI. However, we should keep in mind one thing. In my opinion, we should keep in mind one thing, which is not all provision that we could go ahead of AI, because we have to be aligned at the same steps with the labor market. Otherwise, we will have overqualified skills for our trainees that doesn't need and doesn't match in the labor market?
사우디아라비아 사례를 제가 충분히 이해를 못했는데 얘기는 이 AI를 사용하는 수준하고 실제로 이제 레이버 마켓에서 AI가 어떤 식으로 받아들여지는지 그 수준이 차이가 많이 나지 않도록 해야 된다. 뭐 이런 정도의 인사이트를 생각해 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 간단하게 좀 마무리를 했는데 왜냐하면 이제 남은 시간이 별로 많지 않아서 질문 들어온 거를 몇 개를 좀 다루고 끝내도록 하겠습니다. 순서를 좀 달리해서 끝에서부터 시작을 하겠습니다. 우리 사우디아라비아에서 오신 술탄 알수나야 선생님한테 들어온 질문입니다. 사우디아라비아에서는 주로 외국에서 온 근로자들을 위한 건지 아니면은 사우디아라비아 그 국민들을 위한 건지 그 한번 질문했고요. 그리고 사우디아라비아가 더 발전하기 위해서 사우디 국민들이 이 직업교육에 참여하는 것이 중요하다고 생각하는지 뭐 그렇게 물어봤네요. 영어로 된 질문이니까 한번 읽어보시고 답을 해주시면 좋겠습니다.
Thank you so much. In any place of the world, anyone couldn't deny that one of the most important thing is vocational education. Regarding to the question, the vocational education is built in Saudi Arabia for Saudi nations. And we couldn't accept, we accept until 95% of our technical colleges for Saudi nations. However, there are some 5% of expat for for the sons and daughters for people who are living, the expat who are living in Saudi Arabia. We have those competitiveness for these seats. This is the first part. The second part, do you think Saudi's participation is important for the development of the nation? Yes. I think it's really valuable and important. And the government of Saudi Arabia appointed us, you should have 40% of the high secondary institutes in vocational education in 2030. And now we hit 34%. I think we are close enough to get the target.
네, 감사합니다. 이 번역을 통해서 여러분들이 답을 들으신 걸로 하고 두 번째 질문으로 넘어가겠습니다. 이 질문은 마리벨 일리히 박사께 가는 겁니다. 두 개의 질문 그리고 하나의 부탁이라고 했네요. 누가 그들을 가르칠 수 있나요? 이 교사에 관한 문제인 것 같고 스페셜 티처 이분들은 어떻게 양성을 합니까? 그다음에 한국과 독일 간의 협력에 대해서 좀 말씀해 주십시오. 어떻게 교사를 양성하는 거에 대한 협력 방안에 대해서 물어봤습니다.
Well, thank you so much for the questions and for the suggestions. I'm looking to Krivet here when it comes to collaboration. How can we teach them? Yeah, really thank you so much for this question. I haven't said that before, but we are also a UNESCO Univoc Center, like Krivet is. And I'm very proud that we were able to be one of the projects of the Co-Action Initiative this year. And the Co-Action Initiative is actually an initiative in the network that needs at least 3 UNESCO Univoc centers to collaborate together in a project. And we did so with 3 other Univoc centers, one from Germany, Magdeburg, and one from Sri Lanka and one from Mauritius. And the idea and what we had is we have designed a self-learning program online for teachers to teach the basics of AI, to really get a starting point for teachers, because we have experienced in evaluation that a lot of teachers are hesitant to use or adopt AI. It depends a little on the age range, but a lot of times teachers are hesitant to adopt this and to use AI when it comes to teaching material, for example. And this is actually, they use AI, ChatGPT, all the time, every day, for mundane things, everyday life, but not when it comes to the professional surroundings. So what we have designed is a course that really teaches the beginning, that is human-centered, which is very important, that shows how to prompt what is AI in general, what does it mean, what different AIs are out there, and what are the differences. And it all is based on the UNESCO framework for AI for teachers. And yeah, well, you can use it, everyone can use it, it's for free, and it's a starting point for the teachers. And we hope that this starting point is making teachers curious, and from there on we can experiment, as I said before, and start. So, and who can teach them? Actually, the experts from university, for example, when it comes to AI, who bring their expertise on this topic. So, yeah, that's the long answer to the question. Thank you.
All right. 아까 발표할 때 시간을 세이브해 주셔서 질문을 하나 더 드리겠습니다. Because you save time.
Well, lucky me.
자, 두 번째 질문은
Yeah.
독일은 철학과 교육의 나라입니다. 교육교육유산에 감사합니다. 컨피던스 센터에서 액션 오리엔티드 어프로치에 포커스를 하고 있다고 하셨는데 AI 시대가 도래하고 있는데 앞으로 노동자들은 어떤 심리적 부담을 갖게 될까요? 교육훈련 담당자가 관심을 갖고 준비해야 될 부분들은 어떤 것일까요? 이런 질문이었네요.
Not only the Competence Center is focusing on the action-oriented approach. This is how we teach always, action-oriented. So we don't have topics. We teach projects, real-world projects. So you have a customer demand, which is a real customer demand, and then you have to learn the competencies along this project, and you have to reflect on this, and at the end is often an oral examination, just like Jerome explained. And as I said before, AI comes in there naturally because it's part of the production process. I really like digitalization. When digitalization parts are part of the production process, and I always use the case of hairdressers, for example, because most people think hairdressers are not using digitalization. Hairdressers actually do, because you can make online appointments. And so this is the part of the communication with the customer. And so you have to learn this as a project, as a simple project is how do you use, for example, your website to make these online appointments. So I don't teach a digitalization or AI class. It comes with a project. So this is the action-oriented approach that we do. And the Competence Center is really like the top notch, is where you can even do the more advanced stuff when it comes to in our case, smart home, smart living, is where we really do advanced classes on certain topics, workshops, for example, where we're talking to the industry about these things. I hope this answers the question well.
네, 예, 감사합니다. 마지막 질문 다루고 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 자, 마지막 질문은 제롬 비테 선생님한테 가는 질문입니다. 한국도 자원이 부족한 나라죠. 노동력과 수출에 의지할 수밖에 없는데 빠른 고령화가 사회적 문제로 떠오릅니다. 그런데도 교육 수준은 높습니다. AI가 등장한 이후에 단순 노동과 하이 레벨의 노동은 늘어나고 있고 중간이니까 좀 낮은 세마이 레벨 노동력은 줄어들 거라고 하는데 작년에 하이 레벨 노동자분을 위해서 산학 연계에는 어떤 식으로 준비하면 좋을까요? 이런 질문이 들어왔네요.
Thank you for the question. Thank you. Thank you for participating. No, it's a very tough question. You know, we have also I can respond for Korea, but also in Switzerland we have problem with the labor force market because our natality is not so low as here, but we have problem with the replacement of generation. So we have a high level of immigration, and our challenge with all the immigrant who would like to work in Switzerland is to integrate them. So the integrations come through the work. And we were together and we were speaking about this topic. I was a teacher in a vet school, and I saw a lot of immigrants in my vet school, and I was making citizenship, and at the end they are more Swiss than I am. So I think that the problem with the workforce is that we have to integrate immigrants, the people who want to work, to be integrated in the society, and the best way certainly is by the work integration. I hope that I answer a part of the question, but it was too difficult for me. Really.
좀 쉽지 않은 질문인데 아주 대답해 주시라고 수고하셨습니다. 제가 개별 국가에 대한 평을 다시 하는 것보다는 발표를 쭉 들으면서 또 제가 사전에 원고를 받고 읽어보면서 이제 많이 눈에 띄는 단어가 있더라고요. 이제 어떤 것들이냐면은 네트워크 얘기도 나왔고 뭐 비슷한 얘기지만 네트워킹, 그다음에 뭐 투게더라는 말도 많이 나왔고, 그다음에 커넥티드, 커넥션, 파트너십, 그다음에 브리징, 그다음에 뭐 shared, 쉐어한다는 얘기죠. 뭐 등등 이런 용어가 이제 오늘날과 같이 개인화, 아까 오전 세션에서 이제 초개인화, 하이퍼 인디비주얼리즘 얘기도 했는데 이런 사회 현실에서 이런 연결되고 또 함께 한다는 것이 어떤 의미를 갖는 건지, 과연 실현 가능한 건지, 더군다나 일반 교육도 아니고 직업 교육을 통해서 이게 가능한 건지, 또 뒤집어 생각해 보면 오히려 직업 교육을 통해서 연대 또는 연합, 뭐 브리징 이런 것들이 가능할 거라는 생각도 들긴 해요. 그래서 앞으로 여기 계신 분들이 다 이제 이쪽 분야에 관심을 가지고 계신 분이니까 나름대로 계신 자리에서 어떻게 하면은 이 개별화되는 사회에서 공동체성을 또 연대성을 회복할까, 이런 고민들을 같이 해주시면서 다음번에 또 직능연에서 이런 비슷한 주제를 다루게 된다면 그때 더 좋은 아이디어가 나와서 공유할 수 있는 시간이 됐으면 좋겠습니다. 오늘 발표를 맡아주신 세 분 다시 한번 박수로 감사를 드리고 마치도록 하겠습니다. 네, 수고하셨습니다.